Hi, everybody. I'm Caroline McGillivray, and welcome to class. If you have any pre-existing conditions, just being extra gentle, extra careful. Don't do anything that feels painful. I will be sticking around at the end of class in case you need any modifications or anything. I'll try and offer them during class. I am going to start my music, so if you want, we are going on to Spotify. If you'd like, there is one called Yoga Flow, and I am going to start that and get us going. So everybody, welcome to class. And I'm not sure if the music's going to come through or not, but we're going to try. But let's start with taking a nice big breath in. And exhale. And reach. And exhale. One more. And exhale. Reaching our arms up. Bowing down into a forward fold. Bringing fingertips to shins for a nice halfway lift. Exhale, relaxing down, soften your knees and come all the way up. Exhale, bringing hands to heart and hands to side. And inhale, reaching up again. And exhale, bowing down. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhale, relaxing down, soften knees, coming all the way up. Exhale, bringing hands to heart. And hands to side. One more. And bowing forward. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhale, relaxing down, soften your knees, coming all the way up. Exhale, bringing hands to heart, hands to sides. And inhale, lifting chest, lifting tailbone. And on the exhale, curl the spine, bringing the wrists together into a lotus cup. And inhale, lift. Really elongate the collarbone. And exhale, curl. And inhaling, lift. And exhale, curl. And inhale, lift. And exhale, curl. And inhaling, lift. And exhale, curl. Two more. Doesn't it feel good just to move? One more. And exhale. Coming back to center, just shifting our hips. Back and forth. And when you're ready, bringing it into hip circles, keeping your knees soft. Just feeling that stretch as we start to release the low back. Feeling that movement in our hips. I know for me, sometimes I feel like Rice Krispies when you add the milk to the bowl, just because everything's a little bit crunchy. And reverse the other way. You may find one side's a little bit easier than the other. If your low back's been a little bit sore, make your circles a bit smaller, which starts to help work on the vertebrae in the lower part of your spine. If you're finding your legs and hips need a little bit more, make those circles bigger. So we start to get into the backs of the legs and the hamstrings, sides of the legs, and our hip flexors too. Two more. And last one. Coming back to center. Feet about hip distance apart. And soften your knees, coming into chair. Reaching the arms up. I'm going to turn sideways, hips reaching back. Taking a nice big breath in if you want. Try and pick your toes up and allow yourself to shift back into your heels as we breathe. I've always found it fascinating that this pose actually directly translates in English to uncomfortable pose from its Sanskrit name. Let's do one more big breath on the exhale, bowing all the way down. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhale, relaxing down, soften knees, and come all the way up. Exhale, bringing hands to heart. This time bringing feet together. We're going to come into a second chair. Your feet are parallel. Soften your knees. Option one is to take your left hand over to right side. Option two, keep it in prayer and coming into a twist. As we bend our knees, knees are over toes, really opening up the chest as we breathe, taking those big breaths in and big breath out. And one more big breath on the exhale, relaxing down. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Across, reaching hips back, feeling belly button into spine as we open our chest up towards that left side. And one more big breath on the exhale, relaxing down. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhale, relaxing down, soften knees, and coming all the way up. Exhale, bringing hands to hearts, hands to sides. And we are going to step our left foot back. So we are coming into a nice high lunge. So your back toes, I'm just turning sideways so you can see my body, is gently, you can turn them out. Your pelvis is facing forward. And reaching both arms up. And one more big breath, slowly circling your wrists, taking your hands behind your back, interlace, nice big squeeze, straightening your front knee, and reaching your hips back as chest bows forward. And one more big breath on the inhale, coming back up. We are going to release our hands, bringing it into warrior two. So we're going to wiggle our back foot out. So hips and back foot are reaching towards that left wall as we root into our right foot. Taking a nice big breath in. And exhale. When you're ready, turning front palm up. Lifting chest as we exalt our warrior. Taking those big breaths in. And big breath out. Making sure your back fingers are not resting on that back leg. When you're ready, we are going to rotate by straightening front knee, reaching left hip back, and bringing it into triangle. Feeling belly button pulled up and in as we pull up through the pelvic floor. And one more big breath, slowly coming back into warrior two. We are going to go back and forth, turning front palm up, exalting our warrior, inhaling up. On our exhale, transferring through, coming into triangle pose. And on our inhale, traveling back through warrior two into exalted warrior. And exhale as we transfer into triangle. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And one more. And exhale. Coming back to center. When you are ready, we are going to pivot, facing the other leg or stepping that left leg forward. Hips are facing towards that left wall again. And back toes are either reaching towards that front corner of your mat or towards the front, reaching arms up, coming into that victory pose. As we take those big breaths in and big breath out. And one more big breath, taking your hands behind. In.
Caroline.
Don't be tempted by the shiny apple. Don't you eat of a bitter fruit. Hunger only for a taste of justice. Hunger only for a world of truth is all.
And one more, slowly coming all the way up. Releasing hands, softening into your front knee. Transferring into that warrior two, taking that bow and arrow. Bringing left arm forward, right arm back. And breathing. Taking those big breaths in. And big breath out. And turning front palm up. When you're ready, reaching it into an exalted warrior. And holding for 5 big breaths in. And 5 big breaths out. Seeing if we can slow down our breath just a bit more.
Why was I such a young fool? Could I make history, making babies the best I could do? Thought I wish something could be mine forever. I learned the hard way when can't possess another home that you have.
And slowly coming back through center, reaching hip back and reaching arm up. Coming into that triangle. Trying to allow top shoulder to stack over bottom shoulder.
Hunger only for a taste of justice. Hunger only for a world to be all that you have. Is your soul.
And slowly coming back through center, we are going to flow it. So turning front palm up as we bend. Inhaling, coming up. Exhale as we straighten front knee, coming back into triangle. And inhale as we flow. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And one more. And exhale. Slowly coming back to center. You may want to bring your toes facing towards the edges of your mat. And soften your knees, bringing arms up into goddess, feeling your tailbone lifting, belly button pulled up and in. Taking those big breaths in and big breath out. And one more big breath, straightening legs, toes facing forward, bringing hands to hips. We are coming down into a forward fold. Walking the hands through the legs, feeling your tailbone reaching up to the sky. Taking nice big breaths in and big breath out. And one more big breath when you're ready, slowly coming back up. And second goddess, turning toes up. Soften your knees and breathe. Making sure knees are over toes. So just taking a look just to make sure they're not pulling inwards, that they're actually over your toes as we breathe. Taking those big breaths in and big breath out. One more big breath, seeing if we can come a little bit deeper. Nice work. And when you're ready, straighten. Taking your hands behind your back, interlace, bring shoulders up, press them down, interlace. And if it feels okay, bowing forward. And one more big breath. On the exhale, slowly coming back up. Goddess 3. This time, if you would like a little bit more, I want you to very carefully, gently pulse the legs 1 inch down, 1 inch up. You've got this. And of course, if this is ever too much, it's always okay just to breathe, feeling that grounding in goddess. The Goddess and Warrior series are all about holding your ground, checking in with our values, and what's important to bringing your arms back, this time taking your less dominant grip, the one that feels kind of like you're holding somebody else's hand, shoulders back, interlace, and very carefully bringing head down. Try to keep the heels of the hands together as we breathe. And one more big breath on the inhale, slowly finding your way back up. Last goddess in this class today, I promise. I can't say for other days though. If you'd like, see if you can take your heels off the ground and tiny pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Little bit lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And this time, walking your hands along the outsides of your legs. We're taking our fingers into peace fingers. And see if we can wrap them around our big toes, pulling our head a little bit closer to the ground. Feeling your tailbone reaching up to the sky. And one more big breath when you're ready. Slowly coming all the way back up and bringing your feet, heel toeing them back together. Finding that tall stance, rooting into your right foot. When you are ready, we are going to come into tree pose. So very carefully, option 1 heel is directly over your ankle bone. Option 2 is calf 3 is on your thigh. So seeing for you what feels best as we breathe. Feeling your rib cage stacking over your hips. Finding something to look at that is not moving. And when you're ready, kicking right that left leg forward and very carefully bringing it down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work, and breathing into both feet. You may need to shake out, and that's always okay. Taking those big breaths in and big breath out. Taking big breaths in and big breath out. And one more like that. And exhale. Very carefully rooting into left leg this time. We're coming to the other side. So option 1, toes are on the ground still. Heel is above. Ankle bone 2 is calf. 3 is thigh. So just seeing for you what feels best today. One side might be a little easier than the other, and you may need to use a wall. That is always okay.
Fall my failures to the ground.
And when you're ready, very carefully reaching that leg, kicking it forward for 8. Slowly lower, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to mountain pose, which they say is one of the hardest poses to do. Just being able to breathe. Breathing in and sighing it out. And breathing in and sighing it out. And 2 more. And exhale. And 1 more. And exhale. Reaching your arms all the way up, big circles, interlace, lifting up and out of your hips, and very carefully, gently turning at your waist. Gently feeling that rotation through the spine as we look over each shoulder, keeping knees soft so they can flow with our body, but seeing as much as we can, if we can try just to allow us to turn from our waist, even though we will feel that rotation through the legs a little bit, even though they may look very still. And one more on each side. And slowly coming back to center. Reaching your arms out as far as you can, as if somebody was holding onto your hands. Really reaching, feeling that stretch as far as we can. And when you're ready, reaching, and we are going to windmill, come through center. Come to the other side and up, reach. Exhale through center. Coming to the side and up, reach. Exhale through center. Side and up. Two more. And one more. And reverse the other way, reach. Exhale through center. Side and up, reach. Exhaling through center, side and up, reach. And one more. And breathing. We are going to come down. We are going to come down onto the floor. So finding a nice tall seat. I'm going to step a little bit further back. Taking right arm up, soften your elbow palm, and very carefully, gently reach and stretch. Just making sure your head is framed by your arms as we breathe. Taking those big breaths in and big breath out. One more big breath on the exhale, reaching up. And this time left hand, and gently press, feeling that stretch as we breathe. And reaching both arms up, circling wrists, bringing them down. When you're ready, whichever leg is in front, and if this is ever too much, it's always okay to have the legs wide, walking hands forward. Feeling your chest, reaching towards the floor as we take those big breaths in. And big breath out. Taking big breaths in. And big breath out. Walking hands to the right corner of your mat. If you'd like, having left hand on top of right, so you get that nice deep stretch. And one more big breath on the exhale, walking hands to the other side. Taking nice big breath in and big breath out. And slowly walking hands back to center. Slowly walking hands. And one more big breath on the exhale, slowly finding way back down and changing. Finding that tall seat again. And whenever you're ready, very carefully with the opposite leg in front, walking hands forward. Taking those big breaths in and big breath out. And one more big breath, walking hands over to the left corner. And one more big breath on the exhale, walking through center and reach. And slowly walking hands back through center, coming all the way back up, taking your hands back, rooting hands into the ground, lifting chest. Option 1 is here. Option 2 is to lift the hips. So you're starting to roll on to the tops of the shins, pulling up through the pelvic floor. And one more big breath on the exhale, slowly coming back down and extending legs out to the sides, finding that nice tall seat. So just making sure your sits bones, so we're really pulling up and walking hands back and forth from side to side. Making sure your toes are facing the same direction of your knees. So if your knees are facing the ceiling, your toes are too, feeling that stretch. If this starts to hurt your hip flexors, it's always okay to come out of the stretch, shaking it out, and coming back to join us. And when you're ready, walking hands back up and reaching over to your left side. And inhale, coming back through center, exhale to the right. Feeling how good it feels just to breathe in between the ribs, creating nice spaces in those intercostal muscles in between each rib. As we breathe, pulling up through the pelvic floor, so we're still getting that stretch as well through our obliques along the sides of our belly buttons. Inhale and exhale. Big breath in and big breath out. One more on each side. And last one. Slowly finding our way back up. Soften your knees. If you need to shake out your legs, please do. Softening your knees, allowing the knees to melt from side to side. And bringing soles of the feet together, sitting upright. And if it feels okay, bowing over your feet. Taking deep breaths in and deep breath out. And slowly coming back up. You may want to see if you can bring your feet a little bit closer, and then gently rocking from side to side, just releasing any tight bits in our glutes, in our hips, and starting to bring it into a circle, which I may be showing my age here, but this always reminds me of a Weeble Wobble, which was these toys from the 1970s, I believe, where they're egg-shaped and they look like little people. So just allowing yourself to work through any tight bits, just using the floor to give yourself a massage, and reverse the other way. Exhaling forward, inhale back, really massage. And one more. And slowly release. And one more big breath on the exhale, slowly release. We are going to find a way onto our back. So very slowly. Option one is holding on to the backs of the legs or turning to your side, then rolling onto back. Two is rolling down. Vertebrae. 5 vertebrae. Once we are all the way down, reaching arms, reaching legs to yawn, and stretch, feeling fresh, cool air coming in, warm air coming out. And softening your knees. If your neck is feeling healthy, bringing your head up towards your knees. And slowly release, bringing arms out to shoulder height, knees to the ceiling, feet on the ground, and letting your knees melt from side to side. And very carefully hugging left knee into chest, circling your ankle. And reverse. Imagine any stress, any tension, any aches and pains literally melting into the floor as we breathe. And when you're ready, opening up, left arm to the side. We are going to bring our knees over to the right side, keeping both shoulders on the ground, feeling your head turn to the left. Breathing into that twist. And on the inhale, slowly coming back through center. And hugging, right knee in. And circle. And reverse. And very carefully opening up, right arm to the side, and very carefully guiding knees over to the left. And taking a nice big breath in. On the exhale, slowly coming back onto our backs. Reaching arms and legs to opposite ends of the mat to yawn. And stretch. Feeling fresh. Cool air coming in. Warm air coming out. And when you're ready, feeling your hands and feet relax. Feeling your arms relax. Legs. Neck and shoulders. Torso. Putting on any layers you may need as we find ourselves into Shavasana. Turning palms up to receive energy. Turning palms down to ground. And as we surrender to Shavasana, allowing our eyes to soften. If it feels okay to close our eyes, allowing them to close. And with every exhale, imagine letting go of anything you'd like to release. Just giving it to the floor and breathing in fresh, clean air. And feeling movement returning to fingers and toes and hands and feet. If you'd like to reach your arms above your head to yawn and stretch, please do. Feeling fresh, cool air coming in, warm air coming out. And softening your knees and very carefully rolling to your right side. And just taking a nice big breath in and big breath out. And whenever you're ready, using your hands to guide you, slowly finding your way back up to a tall seat. And just rubbing your hands together and bringing your hands to your heart. And breathing that warmth into your heart. And when you're ready, reaching your arms all the way up to the sky, taking a big breath in. And on your exhale, bowing to thank yourself. And I want to thank you too. Thank you very much. Thank you.